Short bead stair, video number 1, initial presentation of the short bead stair. In this video, I'm going to give you a demonstration of how we introduce the short bead stair to a child for the very first time. That being said, I would encourage you to do this activity with your child even if they do have experience with the short bead stair, given that for the purposes of remote learning, we have switched over from the concrete bead bars with which they are familiar to these abstract paper versions of the colored bead bars. So it would serve them well to have experience building the triangular shape of the short bead stair and handling and manipulating the paper bead bars so that they can have the opportunity to forge that connection in their mind between our classroom material and the material that we will be using henceforth for remote learning. I found this tray lying around my house. I think it had a puzzle in it. It houses the bead bars of the short bead stair quite comfortably. So with any luck, you'll be able to find something that serves the same purpose. Before I begin, I just want to mention that you won't hear me say much throughout this video. And the reason for that is that children learn better through observing and doing than they do by listening to verbal instructions. Here's a quote from Maria Montessori illustrating that. Do not tell them how to do it, show them how to do it, and do not say a word. If you tell them, they will watch your lips move. If you show them, they will want to do it themselves. So on that note, let's begin. This is the short bead stair. I have built the short bead stair. Would you like to build the short bead stair? So at this point, then they will build the short bead stair the way that they observed you building the short bead stair. Important to note is that typical of many Montessori materials, the short bead stair has a built-in control of error. And in this case, it is a visual control of error that will assist your child in correcting their own mistakes. So please do allow for your child to make mistakes and then give them the time and the opportunity to notice that visual cue and correct their mistakes on their own. So for example, if they put the bead bar, the 4, before the 3, then at that point they might notice, oh wait, the edges of the paper don't line up. So the built-in control of error with the short bead stair is the fact that it makes a triangle when it is assembled correctly in numerical order. So your child might notice that that triangle shape is not taking form and the edges don't line up, and then they might proceed to correct the error on their own. If they're really struggling, then yes, do demonstrate for them again, but make sure that they have time to work independently and find errors on their own as well. When they've finished assembling the short bead stair, you could ask them what their favorite colored bead bar is and then have them take that bead bar out and count it. And then allow them to count all the different bead bars of the short bead stair so they can gain experience counting the bead bars. Help them to ensure that their counting voice goes at the same speed as their counting finger, saying only each number as their counting finger touches the bead. Often I will gently hold a child's finger to assist them in this process if they're having trouble accurately counting the quantities. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that concludes our initial presentation on the short bead stair. We will see you for video number 2, where we learn how to give 3 period lessons with the individual bead bars of the short bead stair. See you soon.